Hi everyone, Big Mike here. I have a laptop that is not booting right now, and it has to do with the way the BIOS is set up. And unfortunately, I had a hard time trying to fix it even after an update to the BIOS, and it would seem the only way to really get it to go was to reload Windows. But this is a client's machine, and he doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on it, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. It's kind of an old laptop. But I'm going to demonstrate how to get around this problem, and you're about to see how that's done. Okay, so first of all, let's see what the problem is. So I'm powering it up, and you're going to see what happens here. Okay, so it goes to this screen, and it says the CMOS checksum is invalid. The CMOS will be reset to the default configuration and will be rebooted. Please check your BIOS setup options and see if they change. So I did go into the BIOS and I messed around with a few things, and I was able to get it to boot normally, but what ends up happening is the main battery on this machine is toast, so it doesn't hold a charge. So every time I fix it and then unplug it and plug it back in and turn it back on, it doesn't work anymore. So we still end up with this same error. So this next error here says, boot device not found. Please install an operating system on your hard disk. And you can go into F2 to system diagnostics, but you know, if you go in there, it tests everything and it says, oh, everything's just fine. So it's obviously a different problem. And the problem is that there's two ways of booting, and there's like a new way, which is called EFI, and there's an old way, which is usually called like legacy. So anyways, when this machine was originally installed with, or maybe not originally, but the last time it was installed Windows, they did it with the legacy BIOS in charge. So now that the BIOS is not working properly for some odd reason, or it just wants to boot to the newer way. That's the default way. So anyways, here's how to get around this. I'm just going to turn this off for a second and then turn it back on. And we're going to go into the BIOS by hitting F10. Okay, so we're into the BIOS now. I'm going to say no. And you can see the date has been reset. Now I tried replacing the battery and it didn't fix this problem. So I messed around with it and I tried to get it to go and save the configuration, but as soon as you unplug it, it loses it for some reason. So anyway, this is what you do is we go over to system configuration, we go to boot options, and you'll see where it says legacy support has been disabled. So I'm just going to go to enable, say yes, and then F10 to reboot, exit saving changes, yes. Now as long as this machine remains plugged in, it'll work. But if you unplug it, it's not going to work. Okay, so it's asking me for a code to make this change. So it's 7945, enter. And now it's booting to Windows. Now as long as the machine remains plugged in, this will continue to work. But if you unplug it, you're going to have to go through that little process again. That's the end. Thank you.